Minecraft Snapshot 23W07A released a few days ago, and it introduces some major 1.20 features on top of the existing ones we already had. This includes a new cherry blossom biome with a new wood type that goes with it, archaeology, and the sniffer mob and the ancient seeds that come with it, as well as the other stuff we had like the bamboo wood type, the armor trims, and much more. So I thought I'd set myself the challenge to build a TARDIS interior using as many of the 1.20 features as I possibly can. This mainly includes the new cherry wood and the new bamboo wood, although I'll try and incorporate a few other features as well. So if you end up enjoying this video, then please consider subscribing, as I'm trying to get to 2,000 subscribers and I need your help to do it. It only takes a couple of seconds and I would really appreciate it. Anyway, let's get started. Right, so I've just made a big grass platform for me to start building on. Unfortunately, I don't have access to World Edit or anything like that, so I've got to make do with purely vanilla stuff. I don't even have Optifine or anything, which is a bit of a pain. But I think I'm going to start by just outlining how big I want this TARDIS to be. I've got a bit of an idea in my mind of what I want to do with this. I think the best thing to do with all of the features that we got was to go with a bit of a Japanese style type thing. I'm not going to stick entirely to Japanese. It's just going to be a bit of a blend of multiple different cultures and themes and stuff. But I think that's a good basis to start off with. So I'm just going to create a bit of a circular outline and I'll see what I end up with. Okay, so far I've created some rings. We've got 3 different sizes of circle here, because what I'm thinking is I want this to sort of be a bit of a hill, and this grass is sort of a placeholder, but I do sort of want it to be quite an environmental type of TARDIS, quite a lot of greenery and stuff like that. I might include some moss, because obviously we've also got access to all of those lovely 1.17, 1.18 and 1.19 blocks, and obviously we've got the new torch flower, which I'd like to incorporate as well. So there's a lot of opportunity for something which includes a bit more grass and greenery. So I think what I'm going to do is make a bit of an artificial hill type thing, so it sort of curves up into the center where I'm going to be placing my console. Okay, so I'm happy with this as a foundation for now. Obviously the stone is very much temporary and I might tweak the shape a little bit, but I'd like to get started on the console and then sort of move out from there. So the idea that I've got for the console is to basically create a custom cherry blossom tree basically and build the console around that, maybe incorporating some of the bamboo and stuff as well. But basically the cherry tree sort of is my time rotor in this TARDIS. At least that's what I'm going to try and go for. So obviously I'm going to use some of this cherry wood and the cherry logs, which have a really cool sound effect by the way. But also I think nether brick fence would probably be the best fence to use for some decorations and stuff, because it goes quite well with this wood. And I might also get some nether brick slabs as well. You know what? And some stairs. We'll go for the full effect. And then obviously I have some cherry leaves, and I might incorporate some other pink blocks as well, just to give it a bit of variety. Although I would actually quite like to bone meal one of these cherry trees, because I'm curious what they actually look like. Oh, I completely forgot about the particles. These are incredible. But anyway, so it's sort of like, it's got quite a thin base, which is ideal, because obviously we want the console to be going around here. Then it sort of branches out a little bit in 2 different directions. It's very much sort of just the 2. It doesn't really go on another axis, which I guess kind of makes sense. So yeah, I'm going to have a little play about and see what I can come up with. Okay, so here's the sort of general shape I've come up with. It needs some work for sure, but I'm going to start adding the leaves and see if it turns out alright. Okay, I'm still not 100% happy with the shape, but adding leaves has definitely helped a lot. And I think I'll keep tweaking this a little bit. But generally, I think it's a pretty good first effort. So now I'm going to start working on the console. And I think I've got to try and incorporate some of this bamboo wood set somehow. Okay, so this is the console I've gone for. Again, it needs a bit of tweaking. The bamboo wood is really quite hard to incorporate into other color palettes. And initially I tried just doing the whole thing out of bamboo, but it really looked awful. So it needed some darker contrast. So I've thrown in some spruce here. And I've also tried to make these bits look like the roots of the tree is sort of spreading out into the console, which I think looks pretty cool. But I really want to incorporate this bamboo trapdoor. It just looks amazing. So I think what I'm going to do is go back and start hanging some lanterns on chains around this tree. And then what I can do is surround the lantern with these trapdoors, and I think it will look pretty cool. I've had a bit of a change of heart, and I think these ochre frog lights work really well alongside these bamboo trapdoors. They have a really nice texture. So I'm going to go and add a few more of these around the tree. Okay, I don't think this looks too bad. Obviously, the issue with having a tree like this, where it's all basically just on one side, is it looks really strange from any other angle. Like, this is a really bad angle, and it means that all of these have to sort of be in a line. insane, but I think the effect is still there, and it looks pretty cool. And I've also just added a few decorations to the console, which includes the new cherry button and the new cherry pressure plate. Anyway, so now that I'm done with the console area, I'd quite like to start doing some of the walls. And I think what would be quite cool is to have some arches going all the way around the base of this layer, and then just a regular wall with some cool decorations for the outside. So I'll tackle the arches first. And saying as I'm now sort of going full on traditional Japanese, I figured I'd do something like this. This can obviously go in the four sides of the circle so that we've got entrances. And then I've just got to work out a way to connect it in between using some diagonal arches. And so far I've got something which looks like this. It's definitely coming together. Yeah, I quite like where this is going, so I'm going to try and see if I can replicate this on all of the sides. Hopefully making use of some structure blocks to make my life a little bit easier. Okay, this has got a little bit messy. Let me just fix this real quick. Okay, surprisingly this actually worked. I've managed to copy and paste at least one section, which I was not expecting. There was a little bit of an issue, but I've managed to fix it. So yeah, I'll just do this another 2 times. Okay, I have absolutely no idea how, but I managed to teach myself how to use structure blocks, and it actually worked. That absolutely never happens. But yeah, that means that now we've got some really cool archways surrounding this main area. Right, now to be honest, I'm not really sure what I want to do for the walls. I really like this sort of open atmosphere that we've got. So instead of making a full enclosed area, what I might just do is leave the top open, because I think it will look really nice to have the sky bursting through, and then make a relatively low wall. So I'm not going to go above these arches, I don't think, or maybe just like a couple of blocks above them, but not make anything that makes it feel too enclosed. But before we start on the walls, I'm obviously going to make the entrance to this TARDIS, and this should be pretty simple. Yep, there we go, pretty simple entrance. I absolutely love this bamboo mosaic block for connecting corners. It's so perfect, because obviously half of it sort of looks like it's coming from this angle, and the other half looks like it's coming from that angle. So it just creates a really, really cool effect up there in the corner and connects them absolutely amazingly. So I really, really like that. And then I've also just added this ochre frog light and bamboo trapdoor combination at the bottom, and done my standard police box door.
2 hours later.
Right, so this is what I've chosen to go for the walls. So I've left them quite minimalist deliberately, because I don't want them to distract from the main stuff in the center, such as these amazingly detailed archways. However, I did detail 2 faces of them with some bookshelves and the new chiseled bookshelves, which is another block I can tick off the list. I've done this one and then the one diagonally opposite over here, and then I've incorporated some cherry slabs as well on top. And that was actually a coincidence. I didn't mean to do that. I knew I wanted to use white terracotta, but I was looking through the slab menu to see what slabs go well, and I realized that it was staring me in the face the entire time. So I've also gone for a bit of an interesting design with the top here. So if you look at one of the middle areas, it basically does like a bit of a V shape. Then this one does a slightly shallower V, and then this one just goes all the way across. So the reason I did that is because it looked really bad just going all the way across the top at the same level. And also it just makes it feel a little bit more open, the fact that you can see through in certain areas of the build. So this TARDIS is really starting to come together, but the next thing I'd like to do is sort of decorate this floor with some nicer, different shades of green, some flowers maybe, incorporate the new torch flower, maybe some pools of water, some paths leading to the console, all of that good stuff. And by the way, sorry this video is sort of cutting all over the place. It's because I can't time-lapse my builds, because obviously I don't have replay mod, which is a real shame, but there's not much I can do about it. So yeah, I'm going to get cracking on the floor next. So this is what I've got so far for the floor. What I've done is gone and added 4 pathways leading off from the console, made of coarse dirt, dirt path, and then some rooted dirt as well. Then I've gone around and bone mealed all of the grass and added this little pond, which I think looks really, really nice. What I'm now going to do is start to mix in some moss as well, and some moss carpet. And then I'm also going to go around and add some torch flowers. So that's another thing I can tick off my list, and also because they look amazing. Although, as a side note, one thing I'd love to see is that these actually emit light. I think that should definitely be a feature. I mean, they are literally called torch flowers. They look like they should emit light, and it would be amazing to have a plant that emits light that isn't something like glow lichen. Like a proper flower that emits some nice ambient lighting. So yeah, I'm going to go around and do that now. So as I'm going around and adding all of these torch flowers and all of this moss, another idea that I've had, which I think could be quite cool, is if I change this biome to a cherry grove biome, because I believe the grass in this biome, sorry, actually looks a little bit different to the regular grass. So I'll just finish up placing these torch flowers and then we'll see how that looks. There we go. I've added a lot of torch flowers, which I actually think works quite well. I was expecting it to be a few too many, but I think this looks pretty cool. So now I'm going to try changing this biome. By the way, this is DT editing the video. I completely forgot while building this to add the new cherry petal item to the floor as well. I think that would look really, really nice, especially as it would look like it's sort of fallen from the main cherry blossom tree. So just pretend it's there, okay? Oh yeah, that actually looks really, really good. So you can see the clear difference in color. So over here where the command didn't quite reach, you've got the regular grass, and then it's a lot more saturated in this area. I actually really, really like that. Oh, and the water looks much better too. Yeah, this is perfect. So there's loads of other things I'd like to add to this TARDIS, but I'm really running out of time to make this video, so I'm gonna have to call it quits, unfortunately. But one other thing I'd like to do, just before we declare this finished, is bone meal some extra cherry blossom trees around the outside of this, so that when you peep through these sort of indents in the wall, you can see into what looks like a large cherry grove biome. And I've realized quite how massive these trees are. Okay, I need to space these out a little bit more than I have been. Yeah. Okay, but in all seriousness, that actually looks incredible. That is the perfect effect that I was looking for. I am really, really happy with this TARDIS, and I actually think it would look even better at night. So I'm going to try that now. Oh yeah, that's so much better. And I've actually discovered that my shaders work with this brand new snapshot version. So, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you my 1.20 TARDIS. I actually love how this has turned out. I was skeptical at first. I didn't think it would end up very good. What with all the different blocks that I have to try and incorporate, I have to try and mix pink with yellow, which generally do not go very well. And I had to use flowers and bookshelves and stuff, so I had to make it quite greenery centered. But I'm actually really proud of this build and how it turned out. And if you like this build as much as I do, then there is a world download in the description, so you can check it out for yourself. So I really, really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please leave a like or comment, and if you'd like to see more content like this in the future, then please subscribe. But I've been DT10, and I will see you in the next video.